Hey, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Sean, aka Sean Knight 3000. What's going on with y'all out there in YouTube land? Anyway, wanted to come on and make a video concerning this Uber thing. For those of you out there that are doing UberEats, I don't know if it's affecting other Uber platforms like UberX and Uberpool, but I do know it's affecting UberEats here in Chicago. When I first started doing, well, let's just go back a year. Let's go back last year this time. UberEats was sending out pings. UberEats was sending out pings that was like 5-7 minutes. Sometimes you would get a ping from a restaurant that was literally like a minute away. The food would be ready when you got there. You just pick it up and go. Now all of a sudden, you're getting pinged from restaurants that are farther and farther away. And I started noticing it last summer, as a matter of fact. You're getting pinged, at least I am. I'm getting pinged from restaurants that are literally 15, 20, 25 minutes away from where I am. And we don't get paid. Uber doesn't pay you to drive to the location. You only start getting paid when you pick up the food. Which means all that wow, so many people drive down a one-way street the wrong way. I don't get it. It's like, how could you miss a sign and all the cars parked in one direction? Anyway, like I was saying, we don't get paid until we get to the restaurant and pick up the food. So driving 15, 20, 25 minutes to get to the restaurant doesn't make any sense. Economically, it really doesn't make any sense because you're wasting a lot of gas to get to the restaurant. And chances are you're delivering within 2, 3, 4 blocks, maybe 5 blocks. Every once in a while, you might get a mile from where the restaurant is. And what is a mile? 8 city blocks. That's how much a mile is. 8 city blocks. So if you're driving 20 minutes to get to a restaurant, how many more miles is that than the drop-off point? And then Uber Eats punishes you for how dare you turn down these jobs? You missed 3 in a row because they will send it 3 times in a row usually. At least that's the way it happened with me yesterday. Yesterday I get pinged from a restaurant. It was 25 minutes away. I guess I was heading in that general direction. So about 30 seconds later, I got pinged again. It was 23 minutes away. I turned it down. Then a few seconds later, I got pinged again. This time it was 21 minutes away. I turned it down. I'm offline. I didn't take myself offline. Uber turned me offline. They decided. The app just went off. The app went offline. And I wasn't paying any attention to it because I'm busy paying attention to the road. And after about 10 minutes, I'm like, well, I haven't gotten another ping yet. Wonder what's going on. So I get to the light. I check the app. I'm offline. I didn't know that Uber could turn your app off themselves. Like, wait a minute. I don't want to drive 20 minutes to pick up some food, so you turn me offline, so I can't get anything that might be closer. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I did not know that they could deactivate or they could just turn the app off themselves without you knowing it. Because I'm like I said, I drove for 10 minutes thinking, okay, something else closer is going to pop. Something closer is going to ping. I'm heading in a direction where I know there's a lot of restaurant activity. That's what I usually do. I try to stay in areas where there's a lot of activity for restaurants. If you're doing breakfast, you got to know which restaurants in that area are doing breakfast. So you stay close to those restaurants because those are the restaurants that are going to get a lot of pings for breakfast. And because not every restaurant in the world does breakfast other than McDonald's, which is Well, it's a McDonald's breakfast. Make of that what you will. Usually, those restaurants that are not McDonald's that do breakfast, you get a chance, you pick that up. Sometimes you get a double. You never get a double from McDonald's. Never, never, not even once will you get a double order from a McDonald's. Not once. But other restaurants, you get a double every once in a while. In fact, yesterday I was killing it. I was getting double after double after double practically all day. That's why I was able to end my day early. I did 15 trips. I ended my day early. I was home by 3 o'clock. And I didn't start until 9. And by 3 o'clock, I had done 15 trips because there were so many doubles. It was constant. It was like, I think I got 4 doubles yesterday. And they were, like I say, they were from restaurants that were non-McDonald's restaurants because McDonald's does not give you doubles, which is insane because you should be able to get a double from a McDonald's. What's the difference? You do a double from any other restaurant, but not from McDonald's. And I rode in yesterday. I got to a McDonald's restaurant. They had 4 orders lined up on the counter ready to be picked up. I get 1. I leave. There's 3 bags waiting to be picked up. 3 other orders waiting to be picked up. I could have grabbed 2. When I did those 2, got pinged again, come back, got the last 2. I was in that area. It was afternoon. It was about 2 o'clock. So I was getting close to my 15 ride goal. It would have been beautiful. But McDonald's, for some unknown reason, does not do doubles. Single orders only. Every other restaurant you deal with, you got the opportunity to do a double. And that's what was getting me yesterday. It was killing it yesterday. Like I say, I had, I think, 4 doubles yesterday. 4 double orders. But McDonald's. And then, like I said, you're getting pinged from so far away. And if you dare turn it down, because who wants to drive 20 minutes in Chicago traffic just to get to a restaurant? I'm not being paid for those miles. I'm not being paid for that time. I don't get paid until I pick up the food. Then the clock starts to run. The meter starts to click. In the meantime, I'm burning up gas. I'm wasting time to drive 20 minutes away to pick up an order. That's usually being delivered within a mile to a mile and a half. Yesterday, what also helped was everything was short. Everything was a short trip. Once I picked up the food, everything was right there in the neighborhood. So I was able to pick up the food. 2 minutes later, I was dropping it off. That's 1 order down. 4 minutes later, 5 minutes later, the second order was being dropped off. Grand total, 7 minutes. I've dropped off 2 orders. My day was over by 3 o'clock, and like I said, I didn't start until 9. And even then, I lollygagged a little bit because I had to go to the bank. Yeah, I know. In this day and age, sometimes you still have to physically go inside the bank. Can't do everything online. When are we going to get to the point where we can do everything online, I wonder? But I had to physically go inside the bank yesterday. I couldn't do it online. I couldn't do it. Well, I could have done it through the ATM. But I'm still kind of getting used to depositing my money at the ATM. I kind of like a human to handle my money. It's a psychological thing, I know. Because the machine counts the money. It asks you, is this correct? Because I have actually stood there and seen somebody else deposit. And they put like a whole stack of $1 bills, and the machine did the thing. And next thing you know, it on the screen, it shows you is this the correct amount? And you got hit yes. And it was like, okay, it processed. And they did everything right. It did everything that the teller could do. But for me, it's just, I don't know, man. I would rather put my money in the hands of a human being and they count it. And then they do that thing on the keyboard, and I know it's the correct amount then. I know it's going into my account. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, Or maybe it's just a psychological hang up that I have about my money not going into my account. And then how do I prove it? You know, how do I prove that I put this money in? If it's a teller, I got a receipt at the end. Dude that put his money into the ATM, the machine didn't print out a receipt once he was finished. I don't know if you can request that or not, but he didn't get a receipt when he was finished. He just walked away. And I'm like, when I go to the teller, I get a receipt. Sometimes they'll even put a little smiley face sticker on it, you know? That's my hang up. I know. But that's just the way I feel. I'd rather put my money in the hands of a live person than the machine. Because then I know it's going into the correct account. Money is too hard to make for it to just vanish into the ether, you know? But anyway, back to this Uber thing. Something's got to be done. You got to be able to say, look, I'll accept an order anywhere up to 10 minutes away. I've talked to a ton of drivers, men and women, who absolutely refuse to take anything over 5 to 7 minutes. I got no problem driving within 5 to 7 minutes because you're still going to be in the same general area where the restaurants that you know are doing the bulk business are still located. But when you're going 20 minutes, when you got to drive 20 to 25 minutes to pick up an order, you should be allowed to say, I'm not going to do that without it affecting your acceptance rate, and then you get knocked offline. Because then it becomes an economic thing. Then it becomes a frustrating thing. Then it becomes a fatigue factor. Kicks in also. Because I live in Chicago. I'm not zipping down country roads. I'm in traffic. So spending 20 to 25 minutes in traffic just to get to the restaurant, I'm not being paid for those miles. I'm not being paid for that time. I don't get paid until I pick up the food. I pick up the food. I drop it off within a mile and a half. I just wasted 20 to 25 minutes driving to this place to deliver a package or deliver food that's going literally a mile and a half away from the restaurant, if I'm lucky. So I just made $5 and some change. But I spent 25 minutes in traffic to get there. Now you got to try to get all the way back to the restaurants that are doing the bulk business that you know. Like yesterday, like I said, I know I've been doing this long enough. I know the restaurants that are doing breakfast. Let's take McDonald's out of the equation. A McDonald's breakfast, in my opinion, is not really a breakfast. It calls itself a breakfast. You get eggs and you get sausage and you get, croissants or whatever the hell it is they serve. I don't know. Now you can get grits. I've seen that on the menu as well. I'm not big on McDonald's breakfast. I don't know why you would be. I mean, it's still the same processed meat and processed everything else that McDonald's is, that they do their lunches and their dinners. Why are you eating McDonald's breakfast when you can have a breakfast that's handmade? I don't understand people. It's not an economics thing because there are the restaurants that I usually serve, that I usually stay close to, that do breakfast. The breakfasts are not that more expensive than a McDonald's breakfast. If you're getting a big breakfast from McDonald's, when you're getting the pancakes, the sausage, the eggs, you're getting hash browns and all this other stuff on the side, what is it going to come to? Like $7 plus when you finish with tax included? You can get that same breakfast at the restaurants that I cater to. And it's handmade. And you're going to get more. Because the restaurants that I go to pick up orders, hash browns be like, they have hash browns like this. The eggs be big and fluffy, and you can get your pancakes with stuff in it. You can get I think they do the blueberry pancakes. You can get the ones with the little chocolate in the side of it. Whatever you want. You can't get that at McDonald's. I don't know if it's healthier. I don't know. I don't know the nutritional value of their their breakfasts and things like that. But when the prices are comparable, why wouldn't you order from a restaurant that does breakfast every day? That's what they do. That's their claim to fame. As opposed to a McDonald's breakfast where everything is just processed. All they do is heating it. All they do is heat the crap up. It's frozen. It's made somewhere else. It's frozen. It's shipped to McDonald's, and all they do is heat it up. You eat that stuff for lunch and dinner. Why would you want to put that in your body for breakfast? I'm not saying McDonald's is bad or Burger King or anywhere else, that does it fast is bad. That's kind of the selling point, that it is fast. But if I can get me a handmade breakfast as opposed to a pre-processed breakfast, why would I go and get a pre-processed breakfast? I want something that's handmade. Because then you can tell the people that make it exactly how you want it. I want my eggs, I want my eggs runny, or I want my eggs fried extra hard. However you want. I want my toast done lightly. I want my toast done dark. Could you butter the toast? You can get French toast at these restaurants that I serve, primarily breakfast from. French toast. And people buy that stuff by the bag loads, because it's bread, so bread comes in a bag. So they buy the stuff by the bag load, and the French toast be looking so good. You can't get that at McDonald's. I don't know. I know I'm just ranting because I'm frustrated with the fact that I'm getting pain from these restaurants that are so far away. And then you don't have the authority to say, you know what, I don't want to spend 25 minutes driving to this restaurant in traffic at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. And yesterday was Saturday. Today is Sunday. So everybody was out. Yesterday was beautiful outside. No rain, no cloud in the sky. So everybody was out yesterday. So traffic was heavy all day. I don't want to spend 25 minutes to drive to a restaurant to pick up food that I'm going to deliver a mile and a half away. That makes no sense. So I turned it down. Like I said, maybe yesterday I was driving toward the restaurant. I don't know. Because I kept getting pinged and it kept getting shorter and shorter. The first time it was 25 minutes. The second time it was 23 minutes. The second time it was 21 minutes. Or the third time it was 21 minutes. I turned it down like 20 minutes to get to this restaurant. 20 minutes. So I turned it down like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not driving that far to pick up some food. Man, next thing I know, I'm driving and I'm not getting pinged. So I get to the red light, I look at my phone, I'm offline. Uber has knocked me offline, has taken me offline for how dare you turn down our offers. I'm like, wow, for real? I'm like, okay. Because yesterday I did so many so fast, I was actually going to stay out. Because it was, like I say, I was in the house. I was back home by 3 o'clock. And I didn't start until 9. And even then, I really, really didn't start. Because, like I said, I had to go to the bank first. So, I'm going to say 9:30. Between 9:30 and 2 o'clock, I did 15 trips. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, I still feel good. I'm still strong. I actually turned off the app and ate. I went out and got myself some lunch. So think about that for a minute. Between 9:30 and 2:30. Let's put it that way. 9:30 and 2:30. I'd done 15 trips and I still had time to break, turn the app off, and get something to eat. Yesterday. So I was killing it yesterday. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, I still feel good. I can do a few more. Let me see if I can knock out 20. But once that happened, and I'm looking at the app and I'm like, I'm offline. Something must be going wrong because that's the second vehicle in a row I've seen come down a one-way street. So maybe the other street is blocked off. Maybe the cops are involved or something. That's usually the way it happens around here. Is something bad? Yeah, there go to Chicago PD. So chances are something happened. Somebody must have gotten shot. It's 51 degrees here, according to the car temp. Sunday, God's day. And you still got... You can't even respect a Sunday where you're not going to beef and squabble. I would say maybe Chicago needs to become like a dry town on a weekend, on a Sunday. You know, like my uncle lives in Minneapolis. And you can't buy alcohol on Sunday in Minneapolis. Maybe Chicago needs to become like that, but I don't know how much of these shootings are involved, how much alcohol is involved in these shootings. I'm guessing alcohol maybe plays a part. You know, you drinking, you started Friday, you drink all Saturday, you start drinking Sunday, you know, tempers flare, you know, next thing you know, people are fighting, next thing you know, someone grabs a gun. But the bulk of the shootings here in Chicago have nothing to do whatsoever with someone being drunk. Two people drinking and it turns into a fight or an argument turns into a fight turns into a shooting. It's just an ignorant motherfucker with a gun. And the problem is as a matter of fact, I'm not anti-NRA. But there needs to be something done about the vast number of illegal guns in this country. There really does. Because it's just too easy to get a gun. It really is. I mean, when you can go where you know you can buy a burner. And you can spend $200 and get yourself a nice one. Or you can spend $60 and get yourself a revolver. No paperwork. You buy it out of the back of somebody's car. It's too easy. It's too easy to get a gun. And being here in Chicago, we live right next to Indiana. In fact, the border of Chicago and Indiana touch. And Indiana's gun laws are completely different than ours. It's easy as all get out to buy a weapon in Indiana. It really is. And it's going to be cheaper. You can go to a gun store in Indiana as opposed to buying one out of the back of somebody's trunk. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Wall off the border? Come on, we go up there to get our gas and our cigarettes because it's cheaper. And if you ever want to win the lottery, and I mean the big lottery, drive to Indiana. The bulk of people that win the lottery here in Chicago bought their tickets in Indiana. That's just a tip. I don't know why, but it just seems to be that way. Yeah, I didn't shave this morning. It's Sunday. What do you expect? But I don't know. That's my beef for the day. That's my rant for the day. That you should be allowed to decide whether or not you want to go 20 minutes, 25 minutes to pick up an order without getting knocked off line. And I talked to drivers that have told me, yeah, I've been knocked off line, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's never happened to me. Yesterday was my first day. Yesterday was my wake-up call. It happened to me. I'm like, wow, for real? You knocked me offline because I turned down 3 offers of over 20 minutes. Wow. Okay. All right. You're not the only game in town. You're not. Grubhub is actually paying more. You can make a decent fucking living doing Grubhub. And this weekend, I got an offer from Postmates. Do 10 deliveries, make $100, make $100 bonus. The only problem with Postmates, where you make the deliveries to. Downtown parking is not for the faint of heart. If they had business on the south side, the east side, the west side, Postmates would overtake Uber in this city. They really would. But with everything on the north side or downtown or in the far suburbs, and I mean the far, far suburbs, where you are literally 35, 40 minutes drive just before you get a ping, that makes it undesirable. But if I'm driving 25 minutes out of my way anyway, might as well turn on the app. If I got every order, like this morning, every order I've gotten has been, the closest order was 14 minutes away. 14 minutes. It's like, wow, what is going on? Well, you got to go and jump on the express and drive just to get to the restaurant. 14 minutes. That's the closest ping I've gotten today. And it's not just a weekend thing. This happens Monday through Friday as well. I don't know what's going on. Either drivers that used to be in those areas are no longer on the platform. Because I know the far southeast is a Hispanic neighborhood, Puerto Rican neighborhood. Good food, by the way. Oh my God, yesterday I had some Mexican food. I know Mexican and Puerto Ricans are different. My best friend was Puerto Rican. I don't know what the beef between Mexicans and Puerto Ricans are. He never told me. He just said that and look, this is his opinion, not mine. He used to always say Mexicans were dirty, they were nasty, they were thieving, shit like that. I'm like, I don't get it, because I had dated this Mexican girl back in high school. So I didn't get it. I didn't see the same thing that he was seeing, but I'm not Puerto Rican, so I don't know what the beef was beyond just how they look at each other. I don't know. But I had this food yesterday. Let's just categorize all Hispanic food Mexican. It's just easier, you know. It's just easier. That shit was on point yesterday. Lobster, shrimp, and a taco roll. Oh my God. I don't know what the fuck that shit was called. I just saw a dude standing next to me. He ordered it. That looks good as hell. What is that? He told me the name of it, but I guess my mouth was watering so much. I was wiping the drool. I was like, give me what he got. Got a plate. It was like 6. They were rolled up. I guess he had ordered for 2. Because I ended up eating. And I brought some home, and I ended up eating some of it, part of it for dinner, and I still didn't get filled up, so I had to end up making something extra after that. But I'm not sure what it was called, but it was good as hell. Oh my God, it was so good yesterday. But like I said, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but anyway, there used to be this really cute girl was working out there in that neighborhood, and she was doing primarily all the deliveries in that area. And then all of a sudden, I started getting pinged to go into that area. And then I started getting pinged more. And that's like a 15-minute trip. But at least it's close to where I am. It's close to where the restaurants that deliver breakfast or serve breakfast are located. So I'm still in the same general area. It's just a 15-minute drive. And then you got to go across the bridge, and sometimes the bridge is up because you got boats going underneath it, and so that slows you down and all this other stuff. But it's like, man, what's going on? What happened to all the Uber Eats drivers that used to be out here? And they had their own neighborhoods that they operated out of. Now, and I wasn't getting pinged from those areas when they were doing it. Now, they're gone. Either they're off the platform or they're working for someone else. I'm getting pinged from those areas. And it's like, I never used to get, every once in a while, if I was delivering in that area, then I might get a ping in that area. Or because of where I was, situated to pick up breakfast orders, I might get pinged out there for a lunch order. But that was rare. That was maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. I get pinged from a restaurant in that particular area because she had that lockdown. Now it's like, what's going on? Like I say, we should not be punished for not wanting to drive. Or, here's a radical idea, Uber. Stop paying for when people pick up the damn order. Pay something for the go out and pick it up. You should be getting paid mileage to drive to pick up their food. It doesn't have to be the full price. It could be a third of the price or a fourth of the price. Something to justify going on these long trips to pick up food. That's a radical idea. Since now we're being pinged from farther and farther and farther and farther away, you want us to drive 25 minutes to pick up an order. How about you pay me for my mileage, or at least pay me a fourth to go pick it up? If I know that I'm being paid for the mileage, okay, cool. I got no problem doing it then. I'll go a 25-minute, trip to deliver food 4 minutes away. But we're not being paid to drive to the restaurant. We're only being paid when we pick up the order. When you start the trip, that's when the money starts to show up in your account. Other than that, we're not being paid. And you want me to drive 25 minutes to pick up an order? Not happening. Not happening. No. Too far to go. Too much gas and too much traffic to deal with. I'm sorry. So, if this continues, I'm done. I'm done. Because right now my acceptance rate is down at 30%. Because I turned down so many long trips. Yeah, there's the paramedics. Something bad must have happened. As much as I love my city, I wish it was not like it is. I wish human life was more sacred, had more value. But not everybody sees it that way. Anyway, that's my rant. I don't know what's going to change, if it's ever going to change, if it's just going to get worse as the weather gets better, as far as Uber is concerned. I don't know. All I do know is, look, anything under 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes, hey, I got no problem with it. If it's in the same general area, you know what? Every once in a while, if it's once a week, twice a week, hey, I'll go pick it up. Chance to see another neighborhood, a chance to connect with another restaurant. But if this is the way things are going to be on the regular, and yesterday showed me that, yeah, most of the time you're going to get 10 to 15 of those pings a day where they're over 10 minutes away. Like I said, I got pinged 3 times in a row, and each one of them was over 20 minutes. I don't know if it was the same restaurant or different restaurants. I don't know because I didn't accept. But something's got to be done. Either they got to put out more incentives to attract drivers onto the platform, incentives for us to make those kind of long trips. Or, hey, you're going to go out of business. That's the end of it. You're going to go out of business. Because I don't see people staying on the platform and accepting those. Almost every driver I know who does Uber Eats refuses to do anything over 10 minutes. In fact, I got made fun of once at a McDonald's. I told this guy, yeah, almost every day I start my day, when the first time I turn on the app, it's almost always 15 to 20 minutes from where I am. And he's like, why do you accept that? I was like, well, it's the first one of the day. Might as well get my feet wet somehow, instead of waiting around for something that might be closer. Go out, start the day, whatever. And he's like, man, I turn those down every time. Okay. This is going to continue to happen. Drivers are not doing that because they realize it's a waste of gas, it's a waste of time, and it's putting extra miles on your car. So either Uber's got to do something. The incentives have got to go up to justify that. And the fact that you're doing a 20-minute trip to pick up food, how many short trips could you have made in that 20 minutes? Bring down the number of trips you need to make in order to qualify for an incentive. So instead of it being 35 trips for $35, how about making it 10 trips for $35? Then you don't mind doing a long distance trip or 3 or 4 in a row. But who am I talking to? This is Uber. Whatever is in Uber's best interest, the people that are running this company never do it. It's always what's in their best interest. They never listen to drivers. They don't care what we think. Maybe what it's going to take is for them to be on the verge of losing it all. Then things will change. Desperation breeds desperation. Anyway, if you guys stayed all the way through this, thank you. If you're in a similar situation, comment below. Tell me like, hey, you going through the same things? Whatever, Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video. I appreciate it. All right, guys. I'm going to turn the app back on. I guess I can turn it back on now, because I did get knocked off again today when I turned down 3 offers in a row. I got knocked off again today, so I guess I can turn it back on, and hopefully it'll be within 10 minutes of where I am currently. I can go and pick up some orders. But at least it gave me the chance to make a video. Thank you guys for watching. You guys be safe out there, because as I said, something bad must have happened where somebody got shot. That's the only reason they shut down a street. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be mindful of your surroundings. You hear gunfire, hit the floor. Don't be too prideful. Don't be too curious either. What happened? Who's shooting? Get down. Save yourself. All right, guys. Thanks for watching again. I'll talk to you later. Peace.